Welcome back to Krown's Crypto Cave, and hey, hello, happy Friday from good old Mordor over here. We got Sarah in the background, a little bit of hobbits rolling in the joint as well, but you know what? We got some Magic Internet money, some very serious Magic Internet money actually today, as there's been quite a bit of action in the last, in this past week. This whole week has been quite fun actually. So let's get into a live scene right over here and talk about some good old analysis on good old Krown over here. And as always, want to be the most adamant in stating, hey, 6150, as long as you're above it, as long as you are holding this level right here, yes, Bitcoin does have the potential to just go sideways and perhaps capitulate that way, and then we'll just kind of float up over some period of time. However, things are looking a little bit less rosy as of right now, so we're going to be talking about that throughout this video, and some things have certainly changed in the higher time frames, or by changed I mean not changed. So let's get into it right over here. This smaller descending triangle that we've been living under for the last 2 to 3 months, that was technically broken to the upside. A very weak break, you know, no volume on this guy over here, being held by all major moving averages, plops it back down and rallies off this guy right over here off the retest, which is quite normal activity. Now, to get this far was actually quite impressive, and I was impressed during this, and I did take a couple longs during this, but here's the thing. It has violated my major area now. We did not want to see it break this level right here at around 64.60. Once that happened, it was time to get out of longs and reposition, because this thing, well, it hit our next area right here just about perfectly at about 30, I think it was 63.60-ish area. Yeah, this guy right over here, wicking down on stream last night. So again, we've had these areas marked off for quite some time. Bitcoin losing the purple 200 exponential on the 4-hour dildo chart, and also trending below the 55 right now. So why is this important? There's actually something very important with what's going on right now. Bitcoin was about one rally, was about like $150 to $100 rally away from getting a golden cross on the 4-hour dildo chart, which is what I was looking for to maintain that to maintain that bullish composure. Instead, what looks to be happening right now is that we actually have a rejection of that as it gets closer and closer. So again, we have not had a golden cross on the 4-hour dildo time frame ever since this rally over here, which did give it a secondary boost, but this was just a plain old fucking bull trap over here. The one before that was right over here. Great move on top of that, about $2,000 top to bottom. And before that, the only other one that you got was right over here, you know, another $2,000 play or so, from 8,000 to 10,000. So overall, this is very important to me, because that's telling me that as soon as it gets, you know, that close, boom, a rejection, you know, bear step back in. Now, yes, I do understand that there's a little bit of news coming in the market yesterday, but again, show me the charts and I'll tell you the news. We had bearish divergence going all over this bitch the whole, you know, the whole last couple drives right here. Major bearish divergence on a 4-hour time frame right over here, and just playing it to the downside now. So again, putting back on our horizontals right now, we are kind of resting on a support, and to be honest, I do feel like we actually bounce a little bit off of it, but I'm starting to feel a little bit more bearish off this. Now again, my opinion needs to be separated from the technical analysis. Technical analysis says the higher time frames don't look too good, but as long as you're above 6100, as long as you're maintaining price action above 6100, 6150-ish area, as we've been stating for the last couple months, you know, it's not really appropriate to be having like a big short on, as you know, opportunity cost is a major thing in this market. Try to explain that to some interesting traders out there who like to sell workshops for one day. Well, there you go. Anyways, you know, if it is to bounce up, where's the next big resistance likely to be? Right around here, 64.60 area. If Bitcoin does get back above 64.60, that would negate what I'm saying right now, but I am starting to feel a little bit strongly about this. You can see the volume characteristics on this dump yesterday, you know, definitely kind of boosting it up a little bit. But here's the thing, what really matters most is the higher time frames, and over here we can see a clear rejection on the 2-day. This is a shooting star dildo right here on, I mean, I wouldn't say that this is high volume, but relatively speaking a little bit higher. I'm really splitting hairs right here, but again, you know, we have the 2-day dildo death cross. We've only ever had one other time in Bitcoin's Bitcoin's over 10-year history now, and a rejection of the 21 exponential. Now I want to kind of scroll back in time and go to the only other time that Bitcoin's ever had that 2-day dildo exponential moving average death cross right over here, the green 55 crossing the downside of the purple 200, and notice how you spent, you know, about 2 to 3 months actually going sideways. You even tested the 55 a good time right over here, and then you spent a lot of time going along this yellow 21 exponential before eventually just getting completely rejected. You even closed a couple dildos above it at a certain time, but rejection nonetheless. Oh, at the end of the day. So what am I trying to say? What am I trying to insinuate? I'm trying to insinuate that this is starting to shape up very, very well. The fact that Bitcoin cannot maintain these 2-day dildos above the 21 exponential is very, 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 very bad in my experience. Again, it has been unable to both open and close. What I'm trying to say, both opened and close a 2-day dildo above this 21 exponential ever since, I think, right over here. Yeah, so that was about 2 months ago now. This guy did not both open and close that. It just closed above, and this one is a clear rejection. I mean, again, is that heavier volume? Technically speaking, very slightly. It's not like a huge thing of all time. So again, 6100 still the major area for whatever I'm saying right now. Understand 6100 needs to be broken with force, with fucking force. Otherwise, you're going to be caught with the green dildo up your bunghole, just like good old Tone Base, for about a month straight. And that is not good for your walking habits, because walking upstairs is going to be like really difficult. If you've ever seen these great films from a place like in my office right here, you might know about these sorts of things. But if you're a little bit more of a normal person, well, we'll just go back to Mordor over here and go over to the 3-day dildo chart over here. The 3-day dildo closed last night, and again, major wick to the upside. Shooting star dildo, not fucking good. Now, follow through on this guy would be ticking below 63.78 and 24 cents on stamp right here. We have not quite done that just yet. We have our low of this current 3-day dildo is $86.98. At the 6300 level. So again, it is trying to use the 10 simple as support, but I look at this as a clear rejection of the 21. We have not been able to both open and close a dildo above the a 3-day dildo above the 21 exponential ever since this action over here, this bull trap to 7400. So again, I really don't like what I'm seeing. If we put on the 200 simple moving average, we have closed yet another 3-day dildo below it. I mean, we have both open and closed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 dildos, and we're working on a 7th right now. Again, the only other time that Bitcoin's both opened and closed a 3-day dildo below the 200 simple moving average, this red line right here, was in 2014 right over here. Very similar type price action, where once the 200 simple got up and above the price action, that's where things got pretty nasty. Now you'll notice that the purple 200 exponential is actually a little bit better, because not only once Bitcoin started both opening and closing dildos below that, you really started to get into this very nasty price action over here. But also when Bitcoin started both opening and closing dildos above it, that's when things actually turned around and you went on a 3-year bull run, which is why most people just think that Bitcoin can only go up because they entered in some time before this and after this in the last 3 years. They're like, Bitcoin can't go down, you idiot, stupid bear, I fucking hate you, stop shorting my goddamn beautiful baby Bitcoin. It's like, no, you're actually trading a beanie baby, and what's going on over here is actually we are entering a new market cycle. So again, I am a believer in Bitcoin long term. I am actually incredibly bullish on Bitcoin long term, but that is long term. In the more immediate term, I have to call a spade, and am I buying to hodl long term down here? No, fuck no. I want to see something a little bit more concrete. So let's go over the bullish case first. And again, I should say on the 200 exponential, this purple line over here, we're not in any danger of opening and closing a 3-day dildo below it. Although, it would take some time if it's going to happen. Okay, so let's go over the bullish and bearish case right now. All right, so let's flush them out. Let's give the bulls their due credence first. What would we need to see in order to kind of take back my opinion right now? Well, if we could start closing 4-hour dildos above 64.60, that would be a change in short-term behavior. You will have resistance right here as well at 64.40. I think that Bitcoin probably does give this area another test, and it probably rejects from there and puts in some sort of a head and shoulders over here. And again, that's very bad to kind of look for ahead of time. It's very, 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 very bad technical analysis, bad Krown, but I've just seen this shit happen too much. But hey, I'm not saying that that's going to happen 100%. I'd wait for confirmation first. If you see a rejection anywhere in this level right here, I would take a short, and I will be taking a short if we go in this level over here and manage my risk above 64.60. That is, I do feel strongly about this play right now. If Bitcoin were to get above this area, though, again, let's give the bulls their due credence, because again, we're still, relatively, we haven't done that much different shit. If Bitcoin were to get above 64.60, then yeah, I do believe there ain't nothing in your way around 66.40. Although I did say that on the bust of this prior run over here, but again, major bearish divergence had something to say about that. So Again, Bitcoin kind of tumbling down here really does put a lot, a nice wrench in the spanner of the works, or whatever the fuck that's saying. I don't even know these sayings, man. I just say words. But again, that area would be of great interest, because that is also the overall downtrend resistance line that Bitcoin's been living in and under for the last over 11 months now. Now, here's the thing. Do I look at this as a descending triangle anymore? No. Do I look at this as a falling wedge? Fuck no. People are trying to force their opinion on this thing one way or the other. I think that we have something completely new going on. Why? Because again, remember that smaller descending triangle, that was a very piss poor reaction. There was no interest in playing that. And this bigger one over here is getting so damn full. The apex, you can see, is just, it's just like a month away now. These things typically break, like a little bit before the actual apex, like somewhere over here at the latest, like 85 to 90% full. This one's like 95% full right now. But hey, if you could break above 6640-ish area, and again, keeping in mind that I don't consider this any sort of formation. I just put this. I do put weight on this resistance trend line over here, because it's been living under there for the last 11 months. But if you could get above it, if you could break above it, that would be pretty damn impressive, just because it would be the first time breaking above there in the last 11 and a half months. Then obviously, you'd start climbing the wall of worry. Your next big area right over here at around 6750. Your next area over here, which would also be your 200 simple and 200 exponential, but good historical relevancy at the 7,000 level as well. And then making a higher high over this guy over here, 7350, would be incredibly impressive. And then yes, there would be a couple more hurdles. This high over here, 84, and then 10,000. But with each and every hurdle passed, it becomes less and less likely that it does go lower. So what am I doing in the meantime? Well, I'm just kind of sitting back, because at the end of the day, we really haven't changed ranges too much. I've just been playing options over here. You guys have been watching this position just build up and up. It's beautiful. It just sits. It just I just sit here and it pays me. Again, options are where my actual professional background does lie. I used to be a market maker in equity options on New York Stock Exchange ARCA. If you're new here, if you're not unfamiliar with me as a person, that's kind of my unique view on this market. So again, I've actually made a program showing you how to do these exact sort of things that I'm doing right here, right now. Very easy position to cover. And I'm not really doing too many contracts right here. I mean, this is like, almost 20 contracts accumulatively. I could do like double or triple that on my main account. And this would be paying you, quite a bit more. Although this, at the end of the day, this should be a nice month. Either way though, it's very easy to cover. Lots of strategies to do with options, and when price action is flat, when price action is flat, which it has been for the last month and a half, 2 months, this is really what I want to be doing. And again, if you really do want to take trading seriously, yeah, I do think options are honestly the way to go. Because why do I say that? Well, you can manage your risk so much better. You can handle these periods of the market so much better as well. I'm sure a lot of traders who only trade spot, it's hard to have opportunity in a market like this when your range is tightening and not giving you anything, and giving you even less each and every day. So to be able to kind of play options over here is a blessing. I feel so blessed. No, that sounds silly, but my point is that, hey, that if you're interested in learning that, I have the link in the description for that program. Again, that is a very dedicated program, and I want to make it very, very clear. I almost want to dissuade people from doing it, because understand it's going to take a lot of dedicated effort. The technical analysis program, easy enough to understand, easy enough to like grasp initially, but options are a learning curve. I mean, if you don't, if you're starting from ground zero and you don't know what a call and a put is, and you don't even know how to read these sheets over here, well, we'll take care of that, but it's going to take some time. It's all in there. Again, though, that is in the links in the description. Okay, I'll stop showing myself. Jesus Christ, it's probably fucking super annoying. I completely understand that, but I do want to make sure that the people who are interested in learning that, the people who really do want to take it seriously, have access to that sort of information. Anyway, so back now over here, you can see that the daily is resting on the 21 exponential. This secondary comeback over here is not a good thing in my opinion. Yes, we did close the daily above it, but at the end of the day, to me, this is very indicative of what is likely to come. Let's go check out GBTC over here. GBTC closing the day down a little bit. Island top right here, and then down, very fucking bearish. Yes, we did have a reaction off the 21 exponential, but the second that you close a dildo below $7.31, very bad. And keep in mind that that you got this island top as essentially as a rejection right of this critical critical area that we've been looking at for quite some time, saying, hey, as long as you're below $8.05, it's hard to get excited about, but the second that you can start closing daily dildos above there, you know, you can actually get a little bit more excited about it. But as you can see, a rejection, a clear reversal pattern, and you know, while we haven't broken $7.32, my opinion would say is very likely. Look for that to be kind of like the leading indicator in this equation. If we do break this area, you know, probably come back down to your prior lows, and I would honestly say probably lower at the same time. You know, I feel like this is just a little bit of bullish divergence playing out over here. Yeah, very slight bullish divergence playing out over here, and then back down. So overall, you know, and actually some hidden bearish divergence over here as well. Not my favorite way of doing things though, so I won't talk about it too much. Let's go over and check out the longs and shorts of it all. We have about 20,500 open shorts. So basically, even with the action of yesterday, with a little bit of dumpage, which you know, at the end of the day, what it was like $100, $150 dump, which is, you know, Bitcoin fucking shits that in the morning. But when it comes down to it, you know, no one really putting on shorts or anything like that. People just kind of actually leaving their shorts. We've had a mass exodus of shorts all the way from 32,500 to 20,500, which is what, about 11,000 shorts just leaving the building like that. So when it comes down to it, to me, that is kind of offering up the perfect storm if you do want to have a legitimate go at that 6,100 support. Again, this is me talking about things that are not necessarily happening right now, but if you were to see this start to come down, that's where I get very, 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 very concerned, because again, you know, it's, you know, when shorts are above this level over here, above 30,000, you know, it feels like there's too many people on the boat. No, I don't think that you can make trend lines on this. No, I think that that's very misleading when people do that. It's silly. It's fucking, all the people who have got caught doing that, fucking big cheds, all these silly, very interesting people. That, you know, that's not how that works. It's not how it fucking works. Anyways, without going on into a rant on that, but you know, my point is over here, the bears have plenty of dry ammo to go and dry if they want to. Now, not only that, but bulls have been slowly adding longs for the last couple of weeks, getting all the way from about 20,000 to 25,000. It looks like right about now. We can actually go in. Whoops, where is it? There it is. There's my data mesh. We can see over here that actually, we also have about 2,500 hedge short. So really, it's about 25,000 open longs versus 18,000, a little under 18,000 open shorts. So when it comes down to it, neither is paying like a high rate. I mean, these are relatively pretty damn low. It's not like putting pressure on anyone. But when it comes down to it, you know, this is not a good setup for starting a big rally right now. These people will be underwater pretty damn fast with any sort of move, you know, $100 under. Again, most people having an average price being started on October 20th. So let's go back into the charts over here and see what the price was. The price on October 20th was right over here. So they're actually right around break even. A lot of these people around break even. Yes, there were some people adding over here as well. So, you know, but there's also some people adding over here as well. So if we're going to take the average of that, right around 6,400, which we're hovering around right about now. So if Bitcoin were to take a tumble about $100 lower, very likely that puts a lot of pressure on those longs. You really don't want that high of longs when you're down around here. You really don't want like 20. You really don't want like above that 25 to 27,000 level of longs until you're, you know, above 7,000-ish area, which we are far away from right now. So again, when it comes down to it, got to be very, very careful with that. Let's go check out the total market cap over here. Total market cap, which again, not my favorite way of doing things. Doesn't look as bad. Looks actually okay if you were to put a lot of weight on this, which I'm not sure how much I do. Your Stokes over here are kind of coming back down, looking like they're gonna give it another try. And I do think that we might have a little bit of a reactionary rally. But if that gets rejected on the critical zone right here, I would take that as a major signal to short if that did happen. Again, I'm not saying that's gonna happen, but if it did happen, volume on this guy right here. I mean, none of it is too impressive, but it would be technically less. Wow, volume on today actually is already relatively good. Again, though, you know, I need to see a major slap in the face signal, and we just don't have it either which way. Now, what I'm afraid of over here is that you get the good old trappy trap when, you know, you break it out on relatively lowish volume and then it just gets shoved back the other way. So That's what I would be definitely keeping out an eye for right now, as the times are fucking dire right now. As Bitcoin's going to decide really soon if we're either going to be able to hold this 6,100 level or break it. And if we do break it, I believe that this whole down market is going to be prolonged a much longer time. And I really fear the people who think that who think that is impossible. Nothing's fucking impossible. I've seen every goddamn thing happen. You'll never say that again if you trade for long enough. I can tell you that from experience. Like when the only thing that I haven't seen happen is price action go to the fucking left. And honestly, it might happen sometime. The evil market makers will definitely make it happen. All right, so let's go check out Dixie over here. Dixie having a great reaction. So this is what we were looking for, actually. Holy moly, man. Oh, this is beautiful. Okay, getting up to our next resistance, man. We just fucking nailed this one. Absolutely great. And again, I'm not saying this to be arrogant. I'm saying this so you can do this yourself. This was just such a fucking good trade. Okay, so we had major bearish divergence coming up on this guy over here. We said likely to kind of come back down to we bounced initially off this level right here. Then we said probably gonna get rejected over here, and then likely come down to $95 and like 61 or 62 cents, whatever it was, and then now bouncing up. And this is what I was looking for. You close your next daily above the 21 and then get continuation the next day. Good. Very good. So yes, while you are at a major resistance right now, this does look like it has a little bit of power over here. It does look like it has a little bit of power over here. Now, yes, it still can be rejected, no doubt about that. But if you do see this next daily close above this $96.72 area, great, fucking great. And I would imagine that you see this breakout get carried on further and higher. And it actually does look like you have a kind of an ugly head and shoulders over here, something like this. Can you make a measure move off this? Yeah, you technically can. I don't like it when you have this diagonal of a neckline, but it would actually be pointing you towards this next horizontal right over here. So that would be good confluence on that area. Taking everything off over here. Just get fucking naked. Oh, it looks like I've already done it. And that would be taking you all the way to about $1.03.5 looks like. Yeah, it's somewhere right around there. So overall, again, I need to see that next daily closing above this area, but I like the reaction. Very, 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 very impressive. All right, let's go check out SPYs. The regular stock market doing exactly, again, I'm not saying this to be conceited or anything like that, but doing exactly what we said, what we said yesterday, in a tight range, just trading 50 cents from the 50 cents from the open. Not bad at all. I'd imagine that today does close the weekly, so very likely I think that we do kind of close a little bit. Whoops, didn't mean to do that. Get back there, you silly line. You shall not pass. I would say that the weekly is very likely to close underneath the 21 exponential. If it does, to me, I would still remain bearish. If we do close today's weekly above the 21 exponential, which is officially around 279.5, I would reconsider my overall bearishness on this chart. Now, I do think that just for the rest of the month, we probably go sideways-ish around this area. But overall, I'm pretty bearish on this. I think that we probably go sideways for a while on this chart. Again, major bearish divergence on the monthly RSI, major bearish divergence on the Stokes over here, which are rejecting the critical zone and down as well. That's not the best signal of all time. So again, when it comes down to it, I think we probably go sideways for a while, but this is a monthly, so in the next maybe a month or two, is maybe to start 2018 or start 2019 off, probably do play that one down and come down to like this 220-ish area. It's over time. Again, a monthly takes fucking time just because it's monthly. All right, let's go check out Ripple, and we're gonna check out Bcash as well. Let's check out Bcash first because that one's been moving. A lot of people talking about this one. Has some sort of an event at the not the end of the month, but on the 15th. Yeah, so about a little bit less than a week away. So let's give it some love over here. Let's put on the drawing tools again. Another one done very, 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 very well. Hit out our major resistance right here. Putting in a little bit of hidden bearish divergence. Actually, again, not my favorite way of doing things, but the rejection here has been kind of nasty. Finding our next support right around 569, 570-ish area. I do believe that we probably do lose this support and come further down into the next area, somewhere right around here. Let's put it somewhere right around here in this pocket. I'm gonna put a little blue box in it so that we can get a nice area. And you'll notice that that's also the daily 21 and 55, which does get retested a lot of the time. And I would imagine you probably do get a pretty damn potent bounce off that. So so overall, we are kind of bouncing right now, but I think that you probably do break this area being 573. Daily Stokes over here are crossing down, so I would look for those to kind of be the tell. You do have pretty hefty bearish divergence on your 8-hour time frame, but nothing higher than that. So I do think that we probably have a little bit further down to go. Again, I'd be looking somewhere right around here, 530-ish area, give or take a few bucks, and you probably have a nice bounce. Again, I'm not saying that's going to continue higher. If you lose this area, though, if you lose 520 area, then you're very likely going much, much lower. Yes, you would have support here, but I think you'd just be a little bit of a bounce, and then you probably come back down to your probably lows at 415. So again, an event-driven thing typically does get sold into, typically does revert to the mean over time. So do keep that in mind. And everyone's kind of experienced that. Same thing with an announcement, same thing with fucking consensus, same thing with Chinese New Year's, same thing with fucking we have swell, same thing with fucking the halvening things. I don't know about the halvening actually. Same thing about fucking backed or fucking ETF. Again, these things are just events, and people need to understand. I mean, people, if you live long enough, you will see this. And I don't like the way that I put that term because it sounds condescending. What I mean to say is, if you live long enough, you'll experience this. If you haven't already, you've seen it, and they're all the fucking same thing. You build up to the event, and then the event happens. Human expectations are either they're either satisfied, and then it's like, all right, well, I'll sell it, or they're dissatisfied and they sell it even more. So when it comes down to it, these things, don't look for news to take you out of a bear market. News is not how you stop a bear market. Actually, contrary to popular belief, a bear market stops when you have true capitulation. That's when the last seller has sold. That's when the bear market stops. I mean, that's really all it comes down to. And I know that sounds a little bit, it's like, duh, fucking Krown, you moron. Stop making these things so simple. Well, it's actually true. It's actually fucking true. It's just, it takes a long time. So that's what's really frustrating for most people. To kind of understand. So let's go check out XRP over here. XRP, same sort of thing, but XRP just looks like consolidation in this range to me. It did kind of bounce off of our next support at around 50 cents. But again, I think that this one probably comes down further as well. Daily Stokes over here losing momentum, but they haven't crossed just yet. Daily RSI having a good actually having a good reaction as well. So one of the more healthy charts actually, again, but I do think this one probably comes back a little bit lower. Again, it hasn't really done anything different, from a consolidation area-ish perspective until you actually break 38.5 cents, or if you break this guy over here at around 58.5 cents. So again, whichever one happens first is our next direction. Overall, as long as you maintain 38.5 cents, I do give it the bullish bias, but it probably just needs to consolidate a little bit more. Again, just put in some work over here. The only way that I really kind of take back what I'm saying is if we could start closing 4-hour dildos back above 53 cents right over here, then yes, I'd get immediately bullish on this, and it'd probably be pretty damn good. But for right here, right now, still got a lot of work to do. So let's go back on over to Bitcoin, and let's cover up Mr. Buterol over here. Mr. Buterol was really our canary in the coal mine for this whole thing. We spoke about Mr. Buterol yesterday and how when you technically have a breakout over here, just by we were drawing it like this. Okay, get on over here, you fucker. Yeah, there you go. We technically had a breakout over here, but again, the volume, I need to see it analogous to this guy over here, and I hope that I was very adamant in stating that. And instead of getting that, it's just another failed breakout. So what happens? Well, you just redraw this. So, and that's a clear shooting star dildo right there, and then fall through to the downside. So yeah, well, we are bouncing right here again. The market all trades together, pretty much. Next support I have is coming down to about 208.5. This is on BitMexico, by the way, which I think they have some sort of a maintenance today. I have us in a bear flag over here, which has been broken to the downside. We are still respecting this area over here. This would also be your 200 exponential, so I am looking for that area. We might come back and test this area first, though, 213. So again, I'm not actually short right here, waiting for a little bit of a better entry. If we were to get back to about 213 and 50 cents, I might take that trade. For now, all I'm doing is just trading options, and I'm completely happy with that. Just kind of sitting back and letting that come into my account. Again, I have a theta of about $100, which means that every day, $100 comes into my account. And again, this is with a relatively small position. So that is the beauty of options. So Okay, so if Mr. Beaterall were to break below about 208 though, that would make me a little bit more cautious on the other big caps. Okay, so back into Mr. Bitcoins to kind of wrap this bitch up. Let's go to the one that actually charted out. There we go. I do think that we probably bounce around here. You know, again, hourly Stokes are crossing up, giving you some bullish divergence. 2-hour Stokes are actually still going down, funnily or perhaps not funnily enough. But I do think that we get another run to kind of test this area over here, whether it be like 64.30 or 64.40, you know, whatever, it's a few bucks away. But overall, I think as long as you're kind of living below this, I do have a bearish bias on this. That's my opinion. Trading wise, again, all I'm doing is trading options. I'll probably take a small short somewhere right around here. If we get rejected from this area, I will certainly hold it. If we do not, then I will take the, I don't know, like the $10 loss or whatever it might be. Again, your next support right over here, 63.90. If 63.90 fails, then, you know, it's pretty far way down until 63.60, which we did kind of pick ourselves up off of last night on BitMexico getting down there. And then if that area were to fail, then you got this area right here at around 63.30. And I know that like these are so damn close, and it's almost like not even that helpful. And I agree, but this is actually the right way to be doing it right now, and especially in a market which just seems to be getting tighter and tighter and tighter. You have to be aware of these. That, you know, this is why options are the best thing right now, because, you know, it's hard to make money when you're trading in like $50 ranges, or in some cases even smaller, but they all do matter. Again, don't want to be too damn bearish until you break 6100. My opinion is leaning a little bit to the bear side, but not representing my trades like that just yet. So again, as long as Bitcoin is closing 4-hour dildos below 64.60, I will retain that sort of mental position. But hey, the second that you start closing a 4-hour dildo below, if you could close a 4-hour dildo above 64.60, I would change everything that I'm saying right now and look for that 66.30 target. So again, that's going to do it for today. I look forward to seeing you in the live stream near you soon. Hope everyone has a great rest of your Friday. Yes, hey, happy Friday. Got to get down on Friday, and I'll see you guys soon. Take care.